The suffering you're saying
Right.
bees are dying off.
Yes. I went to a Radha, I won't say which Radha meeting that I went to, and we were talking about treating the hives, and a lot of the beekeepers there, they used a strip. It's I can't remember the name of the strip because I don't use any type of form of chemicals in my box, and they live by this strip, and they're saying that you need it, and it has to go in the box, and it's there to prevent the diseases of whatever the diseases is plaguing the honeybees. And I'm like, honeybee been around for 30 million years, and humans wasn't putting anything in the box, and if they were surviving 30 million years, why is it that we need to put a strip in the box that somebody may come up with a formula to put it in there to say it's going to counteract this beetle or that mite or something like that? They can get resistant to the chemicals, just like all the other insects, they get resistant to the sprays and the fungicides and so forth. So to me, it's just like a waste of time actually buying that chemical to put into the colonies. And a second thing that I've seen is that people are using this thing and then they're not taking it off before the honey flow comes on.
Yeah.
So the honey flow comes on and the strip is still there. And the honey is a food consumption type of thing. Now you have this chemical that's supposed to kill, it's an insecticide, and then now they
Seeping into the honey.
it's seeping into the honey, or it's in that box and so forth. So now you're playing with somebody's well-being, and I just they're just not trying to change their mindset. They're just on this chemical thing, and I haven't used chemicals in over 10 years, and I'm just fine. So I'm saying, is it some type of education gap, or what's the gap? Why is it that we have to be so mandated on the chemicals while we can't go back to the original, like you said the lady was talking about, the group farming and the co-op, I liked it better when it was co-op.
Yes, man.
Yeah, you get a lot done.
Definitely. So the bees are endangered, it seems, and man now is going to be endangered because oh boy.
Not only the bees, Miss Minto.
Jahfar, that means I need to put my order in from you from now for honey.
if I'm having problems even seeing any honey, and my other fellow beakers are having problems because remember, Montego Bay, there's so much people moving into the place. The developments are tearing down the wildlife, and not realizing that these wildlife was some type of forage for either bee or a butterfly or a beetle or a bird or something. They're not putting anything back, so the landscape is not there anymore. So the food is not there anymore, so you're not going to get any honey, and everything is just going to be kind of at a standstill. And until we start kind of like overstand that reasoning, then we will be always in a big problem.
I make trouble a lot and talk about
me too.
the machine that they have in the US that controls the weather.
Oh,
and I wonder because I personally believe that it is what is causing our drought experience that we're having. Because even though we're getting a little rainfall, it is not to the volume of rainfall that we should be getting at this time. Right. So I jokingly and questioningly ask, could it be that these very many machines that they have scattered over the world, could it be that these machines are actually influencing our weather and creating the drought that we're experiencing? And now I have to ask, could it be that this same machine is that because the machine actually works by electromagnetic rays, right?
Right.
And if they are emitting these electromagnetic rays all over the world, and if it's actually being emitted here in Jamaica, and it's supposed to affect us, affect our nervous system, where we're supposed to be having more mental disorders, more neurological disorders, more depression, sleeping disorders, and all of that. Is it possible that it could be affecting the bees as well?
Yes, I think it could be. It could affect a lot of things, and it's ironic that you mentioned that because I'm gonna go back to I like movies, and I'm not sure if you ever seen the movie Terminator. Okay. No, the movie Terminator is about artificial intelligence coming into 1984 and taking out the future leader of the new soldier units coming up. And when you really watch the movie, what it is the artificial intelligence, which are Skeletor with human flesh. It's a microchip CPA. It's being programmed, but it looks like a human, talks like a human, but it's not a human. And And what happened is they got so intelligent that they wanted to take out all of humanity.
Whoa.
So the thing that you just said about these machines going around and messing with your nervous system and mental status and so forth, that same CPA that they created to do that could turn around and wipe out the whole.
So you're saying I have to check you to see your
yeah, you know
the machine.
Start checking. Because we were listening to a program and they were talking about giving citizenship to artificial intelligence.
But I heard that the first one that got it happened in France, I think last year.
So
a female was given,
you know?
a female robot was actually given citizenship.
Yeah.
But I wondered, you know, where do they get the fingerprints and the DNAs and all of that to map? And because that person has to have a markup for it to be given citizenship, you're gonna have to be identified as an individual. So I don't know if it's a dead person's ID that they're giving
and recoordinated back into this
person, or I don't know if maybe they're waiting on my needs ID to give it to this person, because you know, once when I was a Seventh-day Adventist in the very early year, we used to talk about something like that, like the Terminator thing, where they would come around and kill you and take you out and replace you with robots, and not even your family would be able to tell that you weren't your real self. Man, this is serious. This is some really Star Wars and so
futuristic 25th century stuff.
Well, you think they could do that to the Beast family too?
I see. I mean, if they're good enough to actually, as far fast as a bee fly, to slow it down to let you see when the queen bee is getting impregnated by a drone. If they're intelligent enough to do that, I think they're intelligent enough to do a lot of things.
Well, it's scary time. All I know, me believe in a God and me believe in a Satan, and me know that Satan is really reigning right now. He's really. God is merciful, and He has allowed us to see how great the minds of man can be. And if not, I'm going to say, like we train up a child and make sure the child behaves. If the mind of many of our leaders are not trained for righteousness, then it's going to be allowed to do all sorts of confusing, destructive things. Boy, I tell you, one thing I talk about most about this machine is that it has the power to create images. And I've been told many years ago that these machines are going to create the images where people are going to see this Jesus, white Jesus in the sky, and they're going to say, "Oh, see Jesus show, it's so sign," and they're going to say it's a miracle, it's a sign, and God and Jesus, but it all has this agenda to affirm to many of us that white is Jesus, and that Jesus is Jesus, and. Even though many persons are saying, "Oh, it can't be Jesus because Jesus is a slave ship, and all sort of something," people, you know. But seeing these things are going to affirm for many persons that but we're living in a time, but which is very sad, because I once learned that I wonder if he fell asleep there.
He fell asleep, you did.
Are we still live on Facebook?
Still not.
Right.
That's why, because I heard that bees are the main source of cross-pollination.
Yes.
So once you lose all your bees, you lose all your plant life eventually.
Unless we're going to go around and pollinate, hand pollinate, and that's a lot of flowers and millions of flowers just for humans to just try to hand pollinate like that.
And when you think about the medicinal benefits of honey, tell us some of the medicinal benefits of honey.
Some of the less low, it helps to increase your stamina as far as if you're having fatigue problems. It has all the minerals and vitamins and essential elements in the pollen. So let's break it down. Some honey is not real honey, because some honey is being how can I say, pasteurized. So they either burn the pollen out of it, or they'll extract the pollen out of it. So I like my honey raw. So when it's raw, it has all the pollen, all the little buzz, the little wax and so forth in it. I like it like that. I don't like it clean, so I like it kind of dirty. And that's the more natural honey for you. And the benefits, like I said, is it helps with your immune system, builds up your fatigue.
I'm writing my placard. Honey, honey, bees and honey. Woo, bees and honey. We want bees, we want honey. Sex. And what else? Sex. And what else? Sex. And what else? Sex. And what else? Sex. Sex. Honey and sex. And bees and sex.
Yes.
I mean, men, come on, help me. Join us, sisters, come on. Get your placards. Bees and honey. Bees and honey. And trust me, I am sure that the list is very long.
Yes.
Because I mean the Bible tells us go get a little honey for so honey is good. It's good, really, really, really good medicine.
Yes.
Time as always is our greatest.
Yes.
But guess what? B class is every Wednesday class.
Yes.
So if you miss B class, you miss a whole lot. What you have in tune for them for next week, Jahfar?
Well, we can talk about anything. Let's see if we can talk about this beast thing.
The beast thing. Oh man, are you coming with beast again next week?
If you want me to,
oh man, I'm ready. Might be absent from class. I don't know if I'm going to be present.
Usually it'll take some for you.
I know if I can endure the beast thing.
Yes.
But it was a pleasure being here. I
Yes.
learned a lot. I
Yes.
really didn't know that there was a problem with honey in Jamaica. Bees
Yes.
and honey is in Jamaica.
Yes.
I don't know what we're going to do. What we're going to do.
A quick thing before I even go is the bees is not the only thing that the chemical is actually killing.
Mm-hmm.
When you really think about it, you spray the chemical on the grass or the weed that you're trying to kill. It's killing the bullfrog.
Mm-hmm.
It's killing the worms
Mm-hmm.
that we need to actually tunnel make the land, make the fertilizer fertile,
Mm-hmm.
so you can grow back.
Mhm.
So all the grubs and all the other stuff that's in the microbes that's in the soil, it actually kills that as well.
I wonder if they're, like when you catch birds in a cage.
Right.
To be honest with you, it came into my spirit to tell you, Gene, that we should create a cage for the bees. And it just came into my spirit that you let them out at a particular time because they have to go and nest and feed.
Right.
And then create a cage for them. I don't know why, but I saw it in my vision. I saw it that he should try and create a cage.
Maybe a sanctuary.
A sanctuary, something
Yes.
like that for the bees.
So they don't have to go far.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
Something like
I don't
that.
know how, but I saw it in my spirit, and I haven't fully understood it, but I saw it in my spirit that I should tell him to try it and see how it works.
Yes, that would work. Yes.
Ooh.
Lot
All right,
today,
that's
lot
another
to
big
ingest,
class.
Lot to ingest. Thank
Yes,
you.
a whole lot for another big class. Thanks again for joining us on Yahweh's Health FM. It's your inspirational station. And any questions? Anybody having any questions out there for us?
I don't see any questions just now, but a lot of persons tuning in and just taking in the information. I think you're doing a good job.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Bees for medicine, bees for sex. If you pray, and there's power in your prayer, and there should be, just beg for forgiveness, and the Most High will, and just pray that the Most High may preserve us as a people, because we are really treading on some really dangerous grounds.
Yes.
If we lose our bees, especially because it's going to be because of need for some people and greed for some people.
Right.
Like I said, if we were doing group farming, then we wouldn't be so much in need of all of these chemicals, but we're
Right.
not. And so some people still have to survive because farming is their passion, it's their calling. They can't do anything else. And they might tend to turn, because I'm telling you the truth. Last night in my spirit, I was thinking about my farm, and then I said, I wonder if I cheat and put a little bit of the same Roundup on the farm, what would happen? And then in my spirit I woke up and said, but no, I can't poison myself or
Because
poison
you got to be
people.
eating that food as well.
Yeah, and not only that, but I have seen the destruction, the result of this poisoning.
Right.
I have seen many persons come on my farm, and they say, Miss Minto, you have that plant on your farm, you have this one growing on your farm. I don't see it on my farm. And I said, because you poison all of your plants with chemicals. I have lived for more than 25 years. and I've never used any chemical on my farm.
Wow.
Never used any.
Well, we need to give you an award, Miss Minto, for organic farming. You know, I'm not sure if they have any organic societies in Jamaica, but you surely need one. And a lot of other people need to take the practice up as well.
I have sarsaparilla growing on my farm, chain growing on my farm, blood whisk growing on my farm. All of these indigenous herbs that people would have to go way up into the mountains for. It grows on my farm, and people say, how do you manage to do that? And I say, I just don't use any chemical, and nature just replenishes what used to be here.
Right.
You know, so it's tough. From last year October to now, I haven't bought yams from outside, and so person said to me, say, Miss Minto, so how you might sell us some of your yam, and the yam must be good because you know they know I don't use any chemicals. I said to them, I said, how much you will pay me a pound for the yam? And they said, well, it's $70 or $90 a pound in the market.
Organic yam is a little more expensive.
I said, my sister, I said, you don't want to know what it costs me to farm these yams. But sometimes the amount of stress and sleepless nights, and when one man come to work, him say, I want $3,000 for him day. And when you're looking, by the time him do want to go 2 hours, him stop work, and him sit down and him waste 2 hours, and then him go back to one and look at 2 hours, and heaven help one do. And you can't rush him because you don't have nobody else to do the look farming work. So you have to just, and at the end of the day, him come and him stand up, and you can't tell him, say, but boss, you only do 4 hours work. You try make sure it's war or him not coming back the next time.
Right.
So I said to the person, I said, I couldn't afford to farm, to feed, or to sell it because
it's not balanced itself.
No, it's too costly. So I lift my hands to those who are trying, and I do understand why they have to use the chemicals a lot. But I think what we should be aiming at is going back into the group farm.
Yes.
Because eventually, like, you know, they had this yam thing where the sweet yams were dying out, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were losing all our sweet yams.
Wow.
And I believe it was a chemical that's causing it, because my aunt, she gave me 2 bags of sweet yam the first year, and she said, Maureen, you're not going last, you're not going catching up because everybody's sweet yam dying out. And the second year I got 10 bags of yam out of it, and this year I got more than 20 bags out of the same 2 bags that I started with. And I tell people that it is possible that because I don't use chemicals on my farm, then I didn't have any issue at all. I ate sweet yam this year until I was Clyde, the first in my life. I saw sweet yam and I said, I want it, and it's my favorite yam.
And you know, there's a thing called soil fertility. You know, if you keep destroying the soil like that, the fertility of the soil is going to depreciate. But if you keep building the soil like compost and stuff, like you build up the soil fertility, and then you have a great soil fertility, and you will never have a problem on your farm.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things, bees love my farm. I have some dog tongue on my farm, and for some reason, every time you walk around, it's like a bees pasture you walk.
Is that a flower? Or it's a herb?
It's a herb.
That's the first I ever heard that one.
Well, they're calling me on the outside.
Oh, okay, yeah,
so teacher, can I be excused from class?
Yes,
Love you people on Facebook. Love you on your always help them take care.